Okay, folks, so just in case some of y'all aren't aware, there's actually several states in our union now that have introduced these bills and acts to ban geoengineering. This one here is Rhode Island, State of Rhode Island, Clean Air Preservation Act. Should be known as the Rhode Island Clean Air Preservation. Attempts to control the Earth's weather through solar radiation management, SRM, stratospheric aerosol injection, and other forms of weather engineering involve the release of hazardous chemicals and or xenobiotics, foreign to life, electromagnetic radiation pollution into the atmosphere, threatening the public health and environmental conditions on the surface. And this one was introduced back in January. That's for Rhode Island. And this one here is New Hampshire. New Hampshire, prohibiting the intentional release of polluting emissions, including cloud seeding, weather modification, excessive electromagnetic radio frequency, and microwave radiation, making penalties. Again, that's New Hampshire. Then we have, I believe this one is Illinois. This was Illinois, filed back in March. This act may be cited as the Weather Modification Act. And it talks about seeding, prohibition of weather modification for the health, public safety, and welfare of the state. All forms of weather modification are prohibited in the state. That's for Illinois. This one is the Commonwealth of Kentucky, where they are banning weather modification, stratospheric aerosol injection, solar radiation modification, and other forms of geoengineering, endanger human health and safety and environment, threaten air, water, soil, and wildlife resources, disrupt agricultural operations. That one's important right there. Disrupting agricultural operations. So, and potentially interfere with aviation, state security, and the economy of the Commonwealth. So Kentucky has introduced a bill to ban it as well. Now we have the state of Tennessee introduced their bill 2691, and that is for, whereas the risk to living organisms and environmental welfare from broad-scale geoengineering is currently not well understood, and the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation is responsible for monitoring air, blah 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 blah. It is documented among those within the pseudoscience of cryptozoology that there exists a large and hairy human-like creature that inhabits forests in North America. That's an interesting one, huh? Whereas this creature is commonly referred to as a Yeti, Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, and whereas it is the intent of this General Assembly to protect the public health and welfare of Tennesseans and other creatures while allowing all authorized activities permitted. I think that's an interesting insert for the state of Tennessee, that they would add in documenting a large, hairy, human-like creature that inhabits the forest. They're protecting Yeti, Bigfoot, right? I just think that's kind of interesting in the state of Tennessee one. This one, oh, that's New Hampshire. I must have printed that one twice. Oh, this is South Dakota introduced a bill doing the same thing, banning a cloud seeding, stratospheric aerosol injection, proposed method of solar radiation modification that would introduce aerosols into the stratosphere to create a cooling effect by reducing the amount of sunlight reaching the earth, mimicking what happens naturally during a volcanic eruption. Weather modification, xenobiotic, foreign to life. So as you can see, there are several states that are hopping on board and introducing bills and introducing these acts to prohibit the intentional release of polluting emissions into the atmosphere through cloud seeding, weather modification. So you can see I've got copies of all of these, and I've already forwarded some of the PDF files through email to our conservation department here in Nevada, and I'm probably going to make more copies of these and send them into our legislature here in Nevada. Maybe get them to pay some kind of attention to it, but I don't know, just it's very curious to me, this additional mention of Yeti, Bigfoot, or Sasquatch in the state of Tennessee bill that was introduced. So anyway, all of these references are available on geoengineeringwatch.org, And even if you do just a basic search for banning geoengineering, it'll come up with all of these acts, and you can do your own research, make copies of it, forward it to your local legislator or to your local conservationists, and those that are actually in charge of hiring the weather modification consultant groups that are out there. And now part of my research recently has been going through and finding out as much information as I can about these weather modification consultant companies that we have here, because there are hundreds of them. And that's where I'm going to really start to let them know that I know that you are in existence. I know what you do, and I don't approve type of a stuff. So just look up weather modification consultants too, because there's hundreds of them. But anyway, seems like a positive step towards us maybe getting them to stop spraying us. And isn't it nice that the state of Tennessee has decided to include Bigfoot in on it? How about that? Gotta protect Bigfoot, right? Stay safe and mindful, folks.